Ohio government actions, specifically on January 1, 2026, primarily involved the implementation of several new laws taking effect that date, alongside announcements of ongoing enforcement initiatives against violent crime. No major legislative activities, such as bill signings or public events, were recorded precisely on that date, though related efforts built on prior year actions and were highlighted publicly around that time. Below is a detailed breakdown based on available information, focusing on the most relevant developments. Laws taking effect January 1, 2026. These changes, enacted through prior legislation, activated on January 1, 2026, across multiple areas including transportation, public safety, cannabis regulation, and administrative procedures. Key details include higher vehicle registration and Bureau of Motor Vehicles (BMV) fees. Passenger vehicle registration base costs increased, along with fees for title transfers and administrative processing. Officials linked these to funding for highway maintenance, infrastructure, and public safety. The Ohio BMV oversees implementation, with cumulative impacts noted for multi-vehicle households. 1. Changes to cannabis and hemp regulation. New oversight rules clarified product standards, restricted certain formulations, and imposed stricter compliance on retailers, distributors, and manufacturers. This affects product availability and labeling for consumers, emphasizing enforcement consistency in the evolving market. Relevant state agencies include those under the Department of Agriculture and Commerce. 1. Administrative and tax-related adjustments. Updates to filing procedures, enforcement mechanisms, and timelines across state agencies. Impacts vary by individual or business circumstances, such as licensing or property transactions, with agencies issuing new guidance and forms. 1. Public safety and enforcement enhancements. Incremental changes reinforced funding for enforcement agencies, clarified penalties for violations, and supported administrative clarity without major criminal code overhauls. 1. Enforcement actions and public safety initiatives. On or around January 1, 2026, Ohio announced intensified efforts to reduce violent crime, building on 2025 successes. Governor Mike DeWine emphasized deploying state assets against violent individuals and repeat offenders. Key elements. Over 500 felony arrests in 2025, from resource allocation to 23 communities, including Dayton. Using real-time crime security camera analysis and improved interagency communication. 2-3. The Ohio Department of Public Safety, led by Director Andy Wilson, described the approach as an air traffic control center for rapid intelligence gathering and resource direction to support local law enforcement. 2-3. Dayton-specific support. In early December 2025, the city received resources from the Ohio Narcotics Intelligence Center, Ohio Investigative Unit, and Ohio Adult Parole Authority. Dayton Mayor Jeffrey J. Mims highlighted safety as a core government. DeWine stated, "Looking at the assets that we can deploy from the state, when we are dealing with violent crime and violent individuals. This is the best that we can do." 2-3. These efforts continued into 2026 with a focus on collaboration. 3. Major legislative activities. No new bills were signed or major legislative sessions reported specifically for January 1, 2026. Recent prior actions, e.g., signed January 8, 2025 by Governor DeWine, provide context for ongoing implementations. House Bill 366 Force Act, sponsored by Rep. Haraz Ganbari, R. Perisburg, created Organized Retail Theft Advisory Council, Investigative Task Force, Crime of Theft of Mail, and Modified Retail Theft Penalties. 4. House Bill 29, sponsored by Reps. Latina Humphrey, D. Columbus, and Darnell Brewer, D. Cleveland. Updated driver's license suspensions and penalties for lacking proof of financial responsibility. 4. Other bills, e.g., HB 37 on OVI offenses, HB 77 on drones, HB 106 Pay Stub Protection Act, HB 206 on school policies, HB 531 Braden's Law on sexual extortion. 4. These influenced 2026 enforcement, but activated earlier. Public events and other notable actions. No large-scale public events, such as ceremonies or announcements, were documented precisely on January 1, 2026. Coverage of the Violent Crime Initiative appeared in media on that date via outlets like Dayton 24/7 Now, featuring statements from DeWine and Wilson, 2-3 separately. Governor DeWine addressed anti-fraud measures for publicly funded childcare. Noting Ohio's resistance to a federal pay-by enrollment mandate required by August 2026 under the Biden administration, Ohio has not complied. 5. Limitations. Comprehensive records for a single day like January 1, 2026, are limited in available sources, which emphasize law implementations and crime initiatives over exhaustive logs of all agency actions. No conflicting reports were found, but further details may emerge from official state archives like those of the Ohio General Assembly or Governor's Office.